Welcome to the audio ministry of Nanda Flora Williams. She is a speaker, author, psalmist, and coach. As you listen, be inspired, motivated, and challenged.
Do you know that envy is one of the 7 deadly sins? And if you don't watch it, it can spring up and grow in your heart. If you don't watch it, it can spring up and it can grow in your heart. When someone is envious or they're jealous, they have a desire for the possessions of another. A desire for the quality of that person's life. And envy is a very strong emotion. It makes people do all sorts of things. I mean, here we can see it drove Cain to kill Abel. And some people will say, actually, I've never killed anybody and I'll never kill. But some people kill people, they kill their reputations. They talk about them. They slander them. And the motive, the reason behind it is jealousy. Envy. It's a sin. It's one of the 7 deadly sins that anyone can commit. In Proverbs 14 verse 30, God tells us the consequences of being jealous. He says, a tender, tranquil heart will make you healthy. So one of the consequences of being an envious person and a jealous person is sickness. So in Proverbs 14 verse 30, it says, a tender, tranquil heart will make you healthy. But jealousy can make you sick. Jealousy can make you sick. A sound heart is life to the body, but envy is rottenness to the bones. Envy is so jealousy can make you sick. Envy will cause rottenness to come to your bones. I don't know about you. I don't want any of that. So we need to be searching our hearts. We need to be looking at our hearts and examining our hearts before God and say, God, take this out of me. If it is there, God, deliver me from this. Because jealousy, envy, they're dangerous. Envy divides people. And it sets people against themselves. Envy. I know none of you are envious. None of you are jealous. So you don't know what I'm talking about. Envy. And you can see it when people are envious and they begin to sow and plant strife and division. So like maybe an example, maybe at work. Someone else is envious of their colleague because their colleague is doing really well. Is working really hard. Is doing their job well. So instead of probably saying, oh, well done, and giving them, appreciating them or giving them compliments about their job, you decide to go around the office talking about that person and spreading rumors and lies about that person. And you tell people about all sorts of things about that person. Some may be true, some may be a lie, but you create an atmosphere of division. When people are jealous and they're envious, they are always busy doing something wrong. Why? Because envy does not allow you to rest. You just can't rest. You always have to be doing. You're always trying to get one up on the other person. You can't rest. I'll go back to Proverbs 14 again and verse 30. It says, a tender, tranquil heart will make you healthy, but jealousy can make you sick. A sound heart is life to the body, but envy is rottenness to the bones. Are you sick? Are you struggling with your bones? Do you want to check your heart to see, is there any jealousy, is there any envy in me? And if there is, you want to cry out to God and say, God, remove this thing from my heart. May it not be a part of my life, because I don't want it to destroy my life. I don't want it to steal my health and steal my healing. God, remove this thing from my heart. I said envy divides people and sets people against themselves. And, when you look at Numbers chapter 16, you see the story about the sons of Korah, the Levites, and they're envious of Moses, and they begin to talk and to act a certain way. And because of that, they begin to just sow strife. Envy will make you grasp for what is not yours. People who are envious are they're always trying to be, do, go. And I say you should not be ambitious or you should not be passionate. You need to examine your motives. Like, why are you doing that? Why? Envy is very busy because it cannot rest. It cannot imagine that anybody else will be more blessed than. But the interesting thing about life is, no matter how, if you think you're beautiful, no matter how beautiful you are, you will meet people who are more beautiful than you. If you think you're intelligent, you meet people who are more intelligent than you. And you know what? It is okay. It is okay. If you think you're well dressed, you meet people who are better dressed than you. And you know what? It is okay. It is okay. It's okay, because no matter what anybody else has, they can never be you. And that alone makes me satisfied. They can't be me. And you know what? I am not in competition with anybody. I'm in competition with my own destiny to fulfill the very call of God on my own life. In fact, I have too much to do that I can't be concerning myself with what you're doing and your life and your business. Like, there's just too much for me to do that I've not even done. Then what's my business going to try to get what you're doing? Like, I'm not done with what I'm doing. An envious person doesn't focus on themselves. They're always looking at what somebody else is doing and how they can do theirs better. I mean, it's different when, the Bible says a man's friend will sharpen his countenance like iron sharpens iron. It's different when somebody encourages you, and, you run alongside each other and you provoke each other, you sharpen each other, and that's healthy. But when you are competing against somebody else, the Bible says when we compare ourselves with ourselves, we're not wise. If you want to find a foolish person, it's somebody who's walking and living and operating in jealousy and envy. We stop being wise. So in Numbers chapter 16, and bear with me, I will check a few scriptures. Numbers chapter 16, from verse 8 to 11, and I will paraphrase it, read it somehow. So Moses and the sons of Korah, they come to him, and they are being rebellious and they're envious of Moses, and they think that Moses thinks that he's too cool. So Moses, responds to them. He says, "Listen well now, sons of Levi." So, this Korah and the people that he gathered, they were actually Levites. But it was not enough for them that they were Levites. They wanted to be like Moses. And I think that's usually the problem. When we're not satisfied with who we are, who God has made me to be, then I want to be like somebody else. That's where all the drama comes from. Meanwhile, if you are you, nobody can beat you at being you. But honestly, you can be beaten at being someone else because someone else is already taken. And that person can be themselves more than you because that's who God designed for them to be. And Moses responds to them in Numbers chapter 16. So in verse 8, he starts to speak to them. He says, "Listen well now, sons of Levi. Isn't it enough for you that the God of Israel has selected you out of the congregation of Israel to bring you near him to serve in the ministry of the dwelling of God?" I mean, just the fact that I was chosen out of the 12 tribes, that's enough for me. Like, that is enough. Moses reminds them. At that point, they should have been quaking. They should have been shaking in their boots. It says, the ministry of the dwelling of God, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them. So they were ministers, they were ministering to God. So sometimes, you have a position, you're maybe the director, but it's not enough. You want to be the one in charge, or you are are the one that is in a group. No, you want to be the one that is a lead. But if God didn't give you those positions, then they don't belong to you. You can say to the person, "Oh, I love what you do. God bless you." You know, but if God didn't give it, He didn't give it, God did not give it to you. So instead of getting to the place where sin is scratching at your door and His desire is to master you, you have the opportunity to master it. Okay, so Moses goes on. He says, in the ministries of the dwelling of God, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them, He has brought you and all your brother Levites into His inner circle. God had brought them close. And now you are grasping for the priesthood too. Anytime you meet somebody who operates and walks in envy, they are always grasping. They can't sit still. They must be they're after something. They have to go and do something for something. Why? Because they suddenly get this thing. They are blessed, and then they realize, God has blessed somebody else or done something new for somebody. They have to get up, and you can imagine all of that, those shenanigans, all of the going ons, all of the fretting, and it just causes undue stress on you.
Thank you for listening to this message. We trust that you've been blessed, encouraged, and transformed to go out and make a difference.